and welcome to Metropolitan. I'm Taylor.
And I'm Michael. Tell me, Taylor, when you get sick, you probably go to the doctor, right?
That's right.
And if you have an illness, you probably take prescribed or over-the-counter medication for it, right?
Yes.
And if you have a disease, you probably go to the hospital to get better, right?
Of course I do, but where are we going with all these questions, Michael?
Well, Taylor, not everyone uses these types of treatments that we have easy access to today.
Oh, I see now. You're talking about people who use alternative medicines to treat their illnesses.
Exactly. Methods like acupuncture, herbalism, chiropractic, massage therapy, meditation, and medical marijuana are all forms of alternative medicine that people use today, but they're also very controversial.
That's true. Not everyone is inclined to believe that these treatment options always work.
And yet there are people who use them. It's also important to note that these practices are often regarded as complementary medicine because they are also sometimes used in addition to mainstream healthcare.
Well, that's what we're going to find out about today. What makes these treatment options popular?
But also what makes them more controversial than standard medical practices.
Often, people turn to alternative or complementary types of medicine when Western medicine has failed them.
Many also prefer it because it falls in line more with their beliefs on natural well-being.
Acupuncture, for example, applies pressure to certain points on the body to alleviate pain and illness. Massage therapy similarly uses hands or elbows to apply pressure to the body and activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which releases endorphins and serotonins.
Herbalists use plants and plant extracts to treat illnesses and sustain good health. Although the pharmaceutical industry uses a lot of these plants for medicine, herbalist treatments don't have the artificial ingredients that many drugs do.
Chiropractic medicine generally uses spinal therapy to fix problems with the musculoskeletal system. The practice is based on the idea that these ailments affect health through the nervous system.
Meditation alleviates stress and improves brain activity through self-awareness and introspection. It reduces anxiety and has been correlated with structural changes in the brain.
Medical marijuana has documented beneficial effects, including the alleviation of gastrointestinal illness, reduction of nausea and vomiting, and stimulation of hunger in chemotherapy and AIDS patients. However, its use is highly disputed because of its high potential for abuse.
Stay tuned because after the break, we'll be talking to Alan Lichter, a chiropractor.
Don't go away.
G morning, sunshine. Wakey, wakey. Text me back.
You can figure out Jody's gonna.
Hey, did you tell your parents about us? Let's skip first period together. Did you get all my texts?
Is practice over yet? Where are you at?
Are you with your friends? That's L-A-A-A-M-M-E-E-E.
Capital X, lowercase o, capital X, lowercase o.
I love you. JK. I hate you. JK.
Are you ignoring me?
We're in a huge fight right now.
Is this something I did?
I can see your lights on. I'm coming over.
What'd you dream about? Me?
I'm lonely.
Holla back. Holla back.
Let's try something new. Nude pics. Send me some. Text me.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, we have been discussing the use of alternative or complementary medicine and its role in today's society.
Here with us, we have Dr. Alan Lichter, who practices chiropractic medicine. Welcome, Dr. Lichter.
Hi there.
Could you describe the basic idea behind chiropractic for us?
Sure. Chiropractic is about allowing your body to express the health that's natural to it. That's about it. That's the core of it.
Well, how exactly does it work?
Well, your nerve system is the system that controls and coordinates everything that happens in your body. So that's how you interact with your universe, right? So if there's an interference with that nerve system, then something's not going to work right, isn't it? Well, we call that interference something, call it subluxation. Rhymes with subway station. And what chiropractors do is work to remove the interference and allow your body to express the health that's natural to it. We say that health is the entity, and you lose health if you have interference with your nerve system because it just can't. Your body can't work right.
Okay. So, what does a typical patient visit entail?
Regular visits in my office, we only do adjusting in our office, which is where we work to remove the subluxations. So there are lots of different techniques in chiropractic, and people use other therapies in some of their offices where they might use some physical therapy or other things as well. But I just adjust in my office, which is the patient comes in, we do an evaluation for them, and we use a very low force instrument-assisted adjusting technique. There's over 150 actually different adjusting techniques last time somebody did a peer-reviewed study of that. But we use rather than the hands-on, which so many people have seen and are on TV, where you have somebody turns your neck and it makes a loud pop, or puts you on your side and your lower back makes a lot of noise. You don't get any of that in my office. It's very light force. It's very gentle.
Why is there a distinction between Western medicine and alternative medicines such as chiropractic?
Well, between chiropractic and what's allopathic healing, which is what Western medicine is, it's allopathic. It's really a philosophical difference. We are vitalistic. We say there's more to it than just your body. And medicine says is mechanistic. Says there's a cause and effect. This happens, so this happens. We say that health is the entity. If you lose that, then something's going to start to break down over time. Eventually, it may become, and you lose what we would call ease, so you can have dis-ease rather than disease. They say if you get exposed to a disease, then you're going to catch the disease. Well, then how come everybody doesn't have a cold all winter? How come everybody doesn't have pneumonia, right? If germ theory worked, we wouldn't be here, because bubonic plague would have killed everybody if we'd lasted that long. So we say, if everybody sits down at the table here at school, and why does one person get it and one not? There's a better resistance. Their body's working better. The intelligence that runs their body allows them to stay healthier.
So what differences are there between how you treat patients and how doctors at a hospital treat patients?
They say, if you feel good, don't bother to call me, right? They say that if you don't have a symptom, they treat symptoms, right? Cause and effect. If you have a symptom, we're going to find the cause of the symptom. We're going to make the symptom go away, and that's the end. And when that's done, then call me next time. We say that health is the entity. You should be under regular care throughout a lifetime, so that your nerve system functions at a higher level and you respond appropriately to the forces that come into you all the time, the things that are going on in your body, the stresses. There's 3 causes that we know about subluxation. We say there's physical, chemical, and emotional, right? So it's not about, there's probably only 10% about falling down on the ice and causing something to hurt, right? It's not about back pain and neck pain. It's about overall health and function, and the higher you can function, then the better off everything that happens in your life is going to be.
Do you think that these complementary medicine treatments are becoming more or less popular as of late?
Oh, they're absolutely becoming much more popular. People are finding that that the monopoly that's been held by medicine for so long is breaking down, and even medicine is moving towards alternative types of treatments and supplementing things that they used to do, and moving towards healthier lifestyles, which is really what people need to do. That movement started in the mid-90s, actually. But it's progressed dramatically, and more people are finding that there are other things that can help them be healthier, stay healthier, and maybe not have to go to see the medical doctor quite as often, which is what most people want, aside from they want to be healthier and live longer and have a full life throughout a lifetime.
Well, thank you so much for your time. After this fascinating short video on a store in Silver Spring that sells herbal medication, we will be talking to several people who practice meditation.
Downtown Silver Spring, there is a mysterious shop called Shire's Magical Herbs, Oils, and Incense. Located on Bonifant Street, this shop has definitely caught the attention of many curious Silver Spring residents. Today, BNC is here to find out what actually goes on inside. When did you begin the business?
Well, I've been knowing a lot about herbs since I was 4 years old. And they're running my family, and they call me the root lady.
What exactly do you sell?
Well, I make a lot of incense, and I make a lot of oil for love, protection, for healing, for attraction. Just the magic word. You just charge your oil with your energy. I just make it, and you will see how the oil will work.
So why did you believe this business would be successful in this area?
Well, my client know me, and everybody who comes here is because they know me. And they look for me because they say I'm very good.
What kind of magic do you believe in? Like wizardry or voodoo?
First, I don't like voodoo. That's very negative energy. And I think when you call negative energy, everything around you is going to be negative. I believe in white magic. I believe in herbs. And I think you do your own magic yourself. Because whatever you do with your heart and love will work.
Are the items you sell actually magical?
Yes, they are. Because if you tell me that you have any kind of problem, I will try to mix the best herb or the best oil that will help you. And that's why I say it's magic, because when I do my magical work and I mix the oils or any incense, trust me, they work, and they're really, really good.
Where do you find these magical products?
I've been searching for the last 40 years where to find the best quality of any herb, of any oil that I can get in the market. I get a lot of stuff from India, Mexico, and Bolivia. And some of them that I make here with herb. And but I think Mexico and Bolivia is one of the best.
Out of all the items in your store, which would you consider the most magical?
The stones, minerals, the stone, and the incense. I think they really, really work and relax you. When you need to relax, just burn a little incense and breathe, and you will see how you're gonna feel. Let me tell you my story. I used to be a heavy smoker, and I used to smoke 2 packs a day. And one day I decided to make this little incense that I made. And one day I just got up, burned my incense. Since that day, I never smoked in my whole life again, in my life.
After exploring Char's magical herb shop, I decided I would like to try some for incense for myself. This is a stick of incense that is supposed to help you overcome obstacles.
Burn Saint Michael incense to conquer the obstacle in one's path.
Thanks, Charo.
Namaste. Now we will be talking a little bit about how meditation can improve one's health.
Welcome, guys. Can you go around and introduce yourselves to the audience, please?
I'm Joanne Malone. I actually used to teach here at Blair.
Wow.
My name's Ken Kelsing-Varahi. I'm a resident teacher in Washington, D.C.
I'm Tyler Matten, and I go here.
These questions are up for whoever wants to answer them. Tell us a bit about how meditation ties into a person's well-being.
Well, I can give you a little bit of my personal experience. I actually suffer from a long-term progressive near-fatal disease, and meditation has really been a transformative, powerful method to find inner peace and to become a peacemaker for other people too. So it's central to my well-being personally.
Well, I think also that we can think of meditation working on many, many levels. So obviously when we meditate, we're not meditating necessarily with the gross, what we call the gross mind, our busy talking mind. We're meditating on a subtle level. So it's affecting different parts of the psyche and different parts of our body on very subtle levels. So it can be working with our physical health as well as our mental health. And people have shown this throughout many, many centuries, you know.
Yeah, I think it's great just like to have some space in the day, you know, to just like be quiet and, you know, you don't have to worry too much about doing it wrong. You just kind of, you know, quiet and just that space, you know, because our society is so busy and fast-paced and you see everyone like multitasking and talking on their phone while they drive and whatever. And so meditation is just like a break from all that, and that's, you know, really good for your health. Also, it can teach you to be happy. It's also great for your health. It teaches you to like be happy being simple. So instead of texting while you're driving, you'll be happy just driving. So it's nice for that, you know. It's good for safety.
So what does a typical meditation session entail?
I think one of the principles that Tyler mentioned is you can't do it wrong. There, in my opinion, really isn't a way to that you have to meditate. And so when someone makes an intention to try to meditate, that's already in the right direction. But what we do in the tradition of Thich Nhat Hanh is about 25 minutes of sitting meditation, then walking meditation, which especially for young people, but anyone, is a good way to connect your body, mind, and emotions. Then we do sitting meditation again for about 25 minutes, then gather in a group facing each other for a Dharma talk. Dharma means teaching. And a discussion or sharing about what experiences we had. Many people do individual meditation in all sorts of different ways. So that's sort of the structure of our group meditation particularly.
Yeah, I think it's different for different people because of their needs. Within a faith-based tradition, which obviously I'm representing by my clothes, there are different levels. I mean, we have people coming into our center who do just want to relax. So we use the breathing meditation as a preliminary practice. And it's a very important preliminary practice because it allows you to center your mind on one object. And as Tyler so eloquently said, you know, with this multitasking that's going on nowadays, it's very hard for people to concentrate. And also they get very fragmented and nervous because their bodies are expected to focus on so many different things as well as their mind. So the breathing meditation is very important. But from there, within our tradition, we then go into a contemplative meditation for people who are more serious. And that's where you actually have to change the way you think. Because if you don't change the way you think, you're just going to keep approaching the situation in the same way. And then you're going to get angry, jealous, resentful, the same thing over and over. So you may breathe, but once you're outside, the same thing is going to confront you if you don't change your mind. So that takes teachings and practice and time, because we don't change immediately. We first want everybody else to change, you know. But this actually is a lifelong practice, and it's well worth it, because at first we'll have temporary states of mind that are conducive to peace, and then eventually it will be permanent.
How do you use prayers and meditation to help people overcome illnesses?
Well, medicine Buddha practice is a very profound practice, but one has to have faith, because it's like anything else. If you go to a doctor or any healer and you don't have respect or faith, you're not going to benefit. Even when we look at the placebo effect, in part it works because of the faith you have in the healer. So medicine Buddha practice has been around since Buddha Shakyamuni's time, but it requires one to have faith to actually work. And then within that practice, what happens is people first go for what we call empowerments. They're blessing ceremonies where they're empowered to practice, and they're taught how to practice. So you couldn't just open a prayer booklet and figure it out yourself, because these traditions are tantric traditions, and they've been passed along for centuries, and you need spiritual guidance. So usually the spiritual guide or guru will teach these in blessing ceremonies. But they're quite profound. But as our spiritual director has commented, because many Westerners don't have faith in these, they don't even try it enough so that it will be studied. So they're valid, but in the modern world, they haven't been used very much because there isn't enough faith in them.
So what does meditation offer that mainstream healthcare does not?
I think just an alternative approach, and also that it empowers you. So, you know, sometimes in the past, I think, and I don't think this is necessarily true nowadays, but in the past it was more doctor, patient, that kind of relationship. And I used to be a doctor, so I can speak a little bit to that. But basically, this is a method that empowers you to take your health into your own hands, and that you can heal yourself, and that you can be an active part of that process. And I think that's really gives one a lot of confidence. And because meditation is validated by your own experience, to me, it's the best kind of science, because you are validating it because you are feeling better. And that's how you get proof. And I think that's really just wonderful.
Why are some people reluctant to accept meditation and other alternative types of medicine as legitimate types of healing?
I would say probably ignorance and fear. Just, it's different from the Western system that we have, going to a doctor, getting a pill, a quick fix, the type of advertising that is going to help you lose weight overnight or become beautiful, or, you know.
It's, you know, outside of the societal, well, you know, regular Western medicine's more common, and Western medicine's probably more proven by the scientific method, at least some, I don't know, some short-term benefits. I just think it's interesting that, you know, meditation's been around, you know, 2,000 years plus, you know, plus or longer. So it's interesting that people think, you know, that Western medicine's necessarily more trustworthy when it's only been around, you know, a couple hundred years. That's
a good point.
Yeah.
So is modern science a part of meditation at all? If so, how?
That's a juicy question. and again, this is one place that I found out a lot about it. This young monk, who is 35 years old, in the Tibetan tradition actually, became part of a study at the University of Wisconsin. And what they did was, you know, attach the electrodes to his skull and to other monks who had been practicing for a long time, and then compared them to a control group. And there have been more and more studies like this in the United States, but particularly in the last 10 years, it's a fairly new type of scientific study to try to understand the effects of meditation. And in those studies, they found that the certain centers of the brain that lead to more calm and peace and quiet were vastly expanded in the practitioners who had been meditating especially for those who had done it for many years. But I've seen studies at the University of Massachusetts and many other places that are really showing the scientific value. But there's a whole Buddhist psychology also, which, as Tyler said, is 2,600 years old, about the nature of the mind and our conscious minds and our unconscious minds, that all of us have seeds, some of which are generations old, of anger, frustration, you know, being raised Irish Catholic, I know a lot of people in my heritage had suffered greatly from poverty, had fears through the Depression, and I carry those seeds in my consciousness and maybe even in my body. We also have seeds of joy and hope and playfulness and love, and we can water those seeds and help them nourish and grow. So there really is a whole Buddhist science that is available also.
Thank you so much for all of your time. Now we're going to watch a video about an acupuncturist, someone at the Blue Heron Wellness Center in Silver Spring.
The quick and easy explanation is that when energy gets stuck in our bodies, we get symptoms. And energy moves in pathways along the body. These little things up on the wall depict the movement of energy along pathways that we call meridians. The needles are inserted along the pathway at different specific points to keep the energy moving. The word QI or CHI in Chinese means the life force. You can't see energy, you can't see the life force. What it means really is a pot of water over a stove with rice in it and the lid moving up and down. That's the life force. There's the needle itself. There's a shaft of the needle, which is about 1.5 inches long, and then it's one piece of metal that's wound around itself. I would say that an acupuncture needle is about the thickness of a human hair, maybe 2 hairs. And then the way I like to do it is to put it inside this little plastic tube, and then I can put it in my own arm. I'll find a place where there is no acupuncture point, and I just tap the needle in. Any issue on a body, mind, spirit level can bring someone here, and I love it when people come and say, I'm just curious because I want to see what it's like. More and more people are coming because they are having some emotional issues, anxiety, depression. They can't get motivated, they don't know what they want to do in their lives, and they were looking for a new direction, a new possibility. Western medicine has a hold on our psyche, and while it does wonderful things, and if I broke my arm, I'd be in the ER before I'd see an acupuncturist, I would come to the acupuncturist after the cast was on to make sure that I healed more quickly. I think in general the current system of Western medicine is bogged down in paperwork and time and money issues. We don't spend time with people. I spend 1.5 hours the first time somebody comes in, maybe even 2 hours, getting to know that person. And I'm going to treat you like an individual, not somebody with elbow pain. And in the Western system that we have now, you got, 5-10 minutes, maybe 15 if you're lucky, to talk about what's going on. And you may only be talking about your elbow. I want to know about how all of you works, and I want to know what's going well, not just what's wrong. So it's a very different orientation. But I'm not going to see 40 people a day. There are a lot of things that Western medicine does and a lot of things that Eastern medicine does, and they work very well together.
That was very thought-provoking. This whole episode has really opened my eyes to different ideas about health and wellness.
Me too, Michael. What we have learned today shows that we always have to be open-minded to others' views to be able to learn and try something different.
See you next time, everybody. Here's some information about mindful practice centers. Hope you learned something new.